These are the top catalysts that will pump the price of ZBCN in 2025. So let's get right onto it. But the first one, number one, is going to be the exchange listing. So recently we just had Kraken list ZBCN, which is good, and it did pump the price due to hype, and exchanges do pump the price, but they're not the same as compared to previous cycles. It kind of depends on market conditions because we would rather be on them than without them. Market turns green, we'll get new users and more volume. Coinbase Ventures was an early backer of ZBCN, so that is a potential Coinbase listing on the way. Of course, we've got Binance as well, but I do think the Coinbase one is the biggest catalyst of it, being it the most likely because Coinbase Ventures was an early backer. But Simon tweeted right after the Kraken listing that it is a high priority after that exchange listings, that more is coming on the way. So what is he talking about, guys? It's most likely going to be the bigger tier 1 exchanges, but I'll put that as the first one because I don't want this whole video to be about exchange listings. But anyway, so number 2 will be the Zebec super app, which is coming out in 2025 Q4. So we've not got long left. They've hinted that the super app is going to be a big focus onto the roadmap, and what it is, it's an app kind of like Revolut, but it's to bring more retail users into Zebec. They're going to make the app very simple to use, and they're going to put their card products, their staking rewards, certain Zebec holders with a certain amount of ZBCN getting certain perks to unlock new type of products. Spenders of the card get certain cashback rewards type of thing, a certain amount of ZBCN tokens, you can vote. But this sort of use case will bring a lot more users to the Zebec ecosystem. So I think they are going to release this app around the same time as their NBA NHL marketing, which I'll get to that in a second. Just take a look at this of Simon, the CEO, explaining the super app in a bit more detail. Take a look at this.
So the super app's been in development now for a couple months, and it'll be launching later this year. And it's going to bring together all of our major products in a single, easy to use mobile application. That means you can receive your real-time payroll right within the app, convert stables to various cryptos, create multiple Zebec cards for different currencies. So depending on where you are in the world, where you're spending, if you travel, you can have a card in pounds and euros and USD, almost like what Revolut does. But of course, we are a crypto first product, which means that there'll be an integrated fiat to crypto on-ramp. So you'll be able to load it up with a direct bank transfer into stable coins and tokens. And nothing like this has really existed before. As I said, a lot of inspiration from what Revolut is doing in the fiat world, but we are a Web3 first banking experience. ZBCN will play a fundamental role within the super app. It'll help unlock new features and products while reducing fees that users pay. So the more ZBCN you hold, the more benefits you'll reap from using our products. The network participants will receive rewards that come back to them in ZBCN. So whether it's our DeFi integration, such as staking, development grants within our ecosystem, or even cash back for the top spenders on the Zebec card.
So the third point I wanted to point out, it's no surprise that if you're new here, that Zebec have token unlocks every month. They release a certain amount of tokens on the 16th of every month until March 2026. That will be the final unlock when there's 100% token circulation of Zebec. So technically that is a bad thing. It was a bad thing until the team do token buybacks. On the token buyback program, it is dependent on their monthly card revenue volume. So the buyback is determined due to how successful their revenue volume is on their cards, and they are aiming for 100 million volume in around 6 to 12 months. Like this recording was about 4 or 5 months ago, so they are aiming for around 100 million. They're around 54 million right now. So it's a deflationary model where the team will buy a certain amount of supply and remove them from circulation, basically token burning, burn, remove, gone. This would increase the scarcity of ZBCN because less tokens in circulations will increase the value if there's a high demand for it. So I don't know much utility coins that do this sort of token burnings. Usually you would get this on meme coins. This is a good sign that the team do care about the ZBCN holders and the ZBCN native token. Take a look at this.
By the next 12 months is a 3x from our current volume at 30 million. So our goal is to get to 100 million in card volume. And on the payroll side, our goal is to grow that 2x. So that would get us to 1 billion in payroll volume. And the payroll growth would be a mix of organic growth as well as acquisitions. which has helped us get to where we are today. Of course, we also have the reward mechanism on the roadmap. So you'll start seeing ZBCN coming in as a reward of cash back for our card products. But for us, ultimately, it's so much more important to have our buybacks higher than any rewards that we're doing. And luckily, with our revenue growth trajectory, we have no issues ensuring that our buybacks are going up month over month. So that way there's more token being removed from the market than being added to the market.
Number 4. So Zebec are focusing on their compliance standards because Zebec focuses on stablecoin payroll. So their main use case is to pay their workers by the second, by the minute in real time in stablecoins. So instead of getting paid your paycheck every 2 weeks, every month, they will allow workers getting paid in stablecoins because stablecoins like USDC, which is their main default stablecoin that they pay their workers in, is fully pegged, fully reserved, and the Clarity Act allows a lot of banks and institutions to issue their own bank-backed stablecoins. But I'll get onto that in a second. On this compliance push, on their roadmap, they got SOC 2 certified, which is like the American standard, and MiCA compliance is like the European standard of security and trust for institutions. So they are now on track onto getting the FCA approval into the UK, and the big one, ISO 222. And for those of you that don't know what ISO 222 is, it's not to do with crypto, it's about financial messaging. So our current payment system, SWIFT, of cross-border payments, if I sent you money from the UK to the US, it's going to take 3 to 5 business days. There's going to be a delay, there's going to be some huge fees, and the banks around the world and the institutions speak their own digital language. With their digital language, when they send messages across to each other, it can be confusing, costs a lot of fees, it's slow and expensive. But the ISO 222 is all of the banks and the financial institutions speak the same digital language, and it's completely feeless. Anyone that contributes to the network can build on it. It's to save fees, it's to save money, and if you save a lot of fees, that can improve your profitability long term, especially for these financial institutions. You may think that the fees aren't that much, but to them, if they reduce it, very beneficial to their business. So Zebec are focusing on getting their ISO compliance, which is rolling out November 22nd, 2025. Plan to get it before the year ends. And the main compliant crypto firms, not the cryptos themselves, are RippleNet, Stellar Network, XDC, Chainlink, HBAR, Cardano, Algorand. If they get the ISO 222 compliant, that means that they kind of separate themselves from most of the crypto firms because it's not an easy certification to get. You got to go through so many compliant checks, and with the way crypto is going, with institutions coming in like BlackRock, Wall Street, and like all the ETFs, I do believe that 99% of cryptos will die out, in my opinion. So getting the ISO 222, if this is going into a more utility style bull run where the institutions are picking the winners with their big money, and with institutions you need the green light and lots of security checks and trust before parking millions, billions, trillions of dollars into the market, well, Zebec is going to be in leagues with the big boys of those crypto firms that I just mentioned. But anyway, take a look at this.
Is the Zebec network expected to be ISO 222 compliant?
Yes, it is. This is a high priority item on our roadmap. Of course, we work closely with Stellar and other companies in the space that are up to this standard. And as Zebec's network grows and we roll out more products in more countries, the importance of the ISO compliance is greater. So it's something that's on our roadmap, and it's something that we should have within the end of the year. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, not many crypto companies have this, right? And it's not an easy thing. You have to be very compliant. You have to check a lot of boxes. But Zebec from day one has always operated, in the U.S. and in other regulated markets. So for us, it's a lot easier to get these compliance standards than your run-of-the-mill crypto project.
Number 5, Zebec's huge marketing campaign. For those of you that don't know, that Zebec are going to be in the NBA and the NHL in Q4. Zebec and Uphold are doing a marketing campaign, NBA and NHL, with 6 different teams advertising their payroll solutions, their card products, and probably their super app as well. So I'm just going to play a few clips that explains this in more detail. Take a look at this.
Slick ad that we put out, and I'm sure everyone's been dying to know what the actual details are since this teaser came out earlier in the month. We are super excited for this one, as it's our first foray in US sports. After a successful sponsorship of the UEFA leagues in Europe last year, we really wanted to bring it home to the USA. So Zebec and Uphold will be working with 6 teams across professional hockey and basketball this year. You're going to see activations throughout the stadiums and on TV for over 30 million viewers at home as well. This is going to give both of our brands unprecedented reach during a time when Americans are more interested in crypto-based solutions than they've ever been. Well, for our international listeners, hockey and basketball are pretty much a religion in many parts of the US. And of course, hockey in Canada being the #1 sport where I grew up, there's no better way to connect with local communities than through their favorite sports teams. So we decided to work with 6 teams in different parts of the country: Milwaukee, Las Vegas, Atlanta, St. Louis, Detroit, and Minneapolis, representing over 20 million people in their respective metro areas. So we're talking about very, very big reach for both of our brands. And we're also thinking to take it to the next level beyond just in-stadium advertising, but to introduce crypto payments within the stadiums by bringing official crypto cards or wallet-based tools to help us onboard more users into the Zebec and Uphold ecosystems.
Zebec also had advertisements in the UEFA leagues in football. In America, you call it soccer, but they are planning to go back to the UEFA leagues this year. Take a look at this.
Active in over 140 countries, Zebec is changing the game in payments. From Times Square to Premier League soccer to UEFA championships, and with over 50,000 global users, Zebec is becoming a household name in consumer finance.
Marketing in business is huge. It costs a lot of money. So these guys are deep pocketed and they probably know what they're doing. So this would attract a lot more users to familiarize themselves with Zebec and what they are doing. They are changing the way money moves. Okay, more new users are going onto crypto for the first time because crypto is getting adopted and it's less speculative compared to the previous years and the bull runs. You know, institutions are now starting to see the value of certain tokenized assets, especially RWA, and stablecoin payroll is technically a real use case now that the laws are going to more a stablecoin focused narrative and tokenized assets with more clarity due to the laws. Number 6, Zebec have had some impressive partnerships. They've had early backing since 2021, Circle Coinbase Ventures being one of the big ones. They're part of the Circle Alliance program, but they have also had partnerships recently with Algorand, which is ISO 222 compliant. They had All Unity, a venture firm backed by Deutsche Bank, integrating the EU ROU. So now they have USDC as their default stablecoin and now a euro-backed stablecoin. They have a stablecoin pegged to dollar, which is USDC. Now they have a euro-pegged stablecoin. They are looking to expand the pound, Asian currencies as well. I think the biggest partnership that they have so far, probably the recent one with Stellar. They've had Stellar for years. They are now expanding their relationship with Stellar, working on a payroll extension together, which will be announced in the coming weeks. But anyway, take a look at this.
Well, I'm joined today by Boris Reznikov from the Stellar Foundation. Welcome, Boris. We're here at CBOS.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
A lot of exciting news to come between Zebec and Stellar, I guess, over the next couple of weeks. I mean, we've been working together now for years, but we're about to take this partnership to the next level, which we're very excited about.
Well, we appreciate the partnership.
Absolutely, yeah.
So one of the reasons that I was in San Francisco was, of course, to meet with Stellar. And we are actively working on, let's call it a payroll extension with Stellar. And we're going to be announcing that in the next couple of weeks.
There's a huge popular demand of XRP and Zebec working together. Ripple XRP working with Zebec and ZBCN. You know, there's a lot of similarities with the tokenomics, that both having similar token supply, 100 billion. Ripple XRP hold around 50% of the supply in escrow. Zebec have integrated the RLUSD and the Phoenix meme coin, so they do have the XRP ledger into their card suite, and it does seem like that this is the big one speculating in the background. The similarities with their partnership with Uphold, you know, Uphold being a top 10 holder of XRP and Uphold being a top holder of ZBCN, holding over $100 million worth of ZBCN. You know, you can see where people get these similarities with XRP and ZBCN. You know, recently being market compliant, FCA, ISO 222 2022, we can expect to see bigger financial institutions and hopefully big banks partnering with them, and they will announce it later. Number 7, and this will be the last point. In the past previous administration, like the Biden administration, they were very anti-crypto, especially Gary Gensler in the SEC. They were very anti-crypto, and they did that lawsuit with Ripple and XRP, and in my opinion, that lawsuit kind of suppressed a lot of the crypto market. But now we have the Trump administration, which is more of a pro-crypto administration. I know with the current market conditions and with the tariffs and the war scares, it has not helped the markets right now. Recently, Trump signed the Genius Act, which allows banks and financial institutions in the US to issue their own backed bank stablecoins that's fully reserved and fully pegged to the US dollar. So USDC being one of those stablecoins that fits into that law. And this relates to Zebec because Zebec's default stablecoin is USDC. You know, it powers their card products, it powers their payroll streaming service. It's made their journey easier with USDC and Circle being an early back. So with this post-Genius Act taking effect, would allow banks and institutions issuing their own backed bank stablecoins like JP Morgan, Bank of America, which the team have said that they are working closely with, that they can integrate those stablecoins into their card products and they issue more stablecoins to be paid in their payroll services as well. The main stablecoins that Zebec provide are USDC, the Paxos stablecoin, RLUSD, now the EURAU, a euro pegged stablecoin, and there's more coming on the way. If stablecoins are going to flood the market into their network.
What were your views on the US Senate passing this stablecoin Genius Act earlier in the week?
Well, I could say this is enormously positive news for the industry. It's a huge boost to any company that is operating with stablecoins like Zebec, of course, as we built our payroll system on the USDC currency. Stablecoins are a 200 billion plus segment of the crypto industry, and they're growing incredibly fast. And that really shows the demand from the market for increased usage for stablecoins as they are faster, quicker, cheaper than fiat alternatives. And it gives us, as a crypto operator, some sort of regulatory clarity that banks can now operate in the world of stablecoins and digital assets. And it's really helping build trust in the stablecoin ecosystem as well. So for Zebec, as a company that I mentioned, has built a lot of our infrastructure on the Circle infrastructure network as well as USDC. It's a great step forward.
Would you guys be open to supporting bank-issued stablecoins?
I mean, it's all very early at this point. I think we've seen the news from Bank of America that they're considering issuing a stablecoin. JP Morgan, who we already work with closely, they're looking at issuing a stablecoin. I think we are going to adopt more of a wait and see approach given our long-standing relationship with Circle. Of course, we're a member of the Circle Alliance program. So we are all in on USDC right now. And when Circle wins, so does Zebec.
But anyway, that's all for now. If you're not in the best crypto community, please join. We're over 200 members, and I'll see you guys in the next one.